Just that I'm sorry, the formatting will go off on some slides at least. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do today is in next half an hour or so, I'm just going to talk in a very informal way with all of you. Some things about career basics, my own journey, things that each one of us must keep in mind while we are, navigating this career journey. I myself navigating my own career journey. But I would also want to share with you the diverse opportunities that exist in today's world for any life science graduates, and how India Bioscience can also, help, or what we have to offer for young minds like you all. Okay, so with that, the very first thing I would like to say before we actually get on to today's presentation is what is very, very important. Right now, you all are in your formative years, all are pursuing a degree, but very soon, at some point, you would get onto the real life where you would, start your professional career journey. And that's where it's very important to kind of note that whether you are going to embark on a career journey or you're just going to do a job. Because once you have an understanding of this, life becomes much, much easier. Because a career is nothing but an individual's lifelong journey, which definitely entails a lot of learning, a lot of work, hard work, and passion. And this actually provides motivation and happiness throughout this journey. But for that, you need to keep certain things in mind, and that's precisely what we are going to discuss. Whereas, a job, that's something very simple. You do that job to basically earn money to support your basic needs. There's nothing more that's involved. The factor of motivation, the factor of happiness is something that's missing when you're just doing a job. So keeping this in mind, whether you want to get started on a career journey or just a job, is something which is very, very important. The other very important thing to keep in mind is that this career journey is your responsibility. And what I mean by your responsibility is it's the individual's responsibility, not anyone else's, not your parents, not your teachers, not your peers, not your friends, but your responsibility. So pick up a field that gives you happiness. And this is what we are going to discuss today. This is a quote by Barbara McClintock. Her name has gone off from here. And she goes on to say, I was just so interested in what I was doing. I could hardly wait to get up in the morning and get at it. One of my friends, a geneticist, said that I was a child because only children can't wait to get up in the morning to get at what they want to do. So pick up a career path which gives you this kind of happiness that you just can't wait to get up in the morning and get onto your work. And with that note, let me move on. So we all see this career progression as this one straight ladder. Right now you are doing your, let's say, undergrad, you will do your postgrad. Some of you will go on to do PhDs, postdocs, and you become a faculty. That's somewhere so deep rooted in our mindset that once you have taken science, this is the career progression that would unfold in front of you. But in today's world, that's not the reality. That's not the only truth, because career progression can look like this, ladder which goes up and down and up and down, or these can be just straight ladders. And what I mean by this is that in today's world, no one starts off a career journey and ends this at the retirement, just continuing that one in one position. People move on, and the organizations are also becoming more and more flatter and flatter. People are working as consultants, as independent consultants, as freelancers, or even in an organization in an independent role, and they climb their own ladder. They basically do not follow anyone else. And these are certain things that one must keep in mind, especially when you are going to start your career journey in near future. Okay, so I'm really sorry, and this is a little upsetting for me because the whole formatting has gone off in my slides, but that's okay. So what is really important here is to keep in mind this golden circle of self contemplation of why you want to get onto a certain journey. And once you know that why you want to do, which is basically the purpose because of which you want to embark a certain journey, you would then get to know that what is the process to reach that why, and what do you do in order to get the desired results to reach again to this central why, the very purpose because of which you are starting on to that journey. So it's important that each one of us know that. Okay, so here let me share with you all my own journey. I basically come from a place called Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh, and I started my schooling there. I had interest in biology, in sciences, and gradually, once I started learning about DNA from my father when I was in class 8, I started becoming more and more interested in biology. And definitely, passion and hard work was something that was ingrained at the very early on. I initiated my journey. And what was it? Okay, so basically at home and school, I studied science. When I was in 11th and 12th, being a topper, the very obvious choice that was presented to me by my teachers and by friends was, I should take up medicine because I had biology in class 11th. And that's where I did my first omission. I was very clear that medicine is not for me because I can't withstand an hospital setting. And that really triggered cascading effect. My dad was called in. There was a long discussion that happened. I was persuaded, tried to be convinced that no, at least fill in the forms, go write the exam. I declined. I said no, I would not do that. And I joined Banaras Hindu University for my undergrad, and I also had botany, zoology, chemistry. Really enjoyed my time, 3 years at Banaras Hindu University, where I got some really, really amazing teachers and who taught me the very importance of hard work, who motivated us. And from there, I moved on to do my master's at Baroda. And again, the coursework at Baroda was so well defined. The way they had structured it really taught us a lot of teamwork. And that's precisely what I was discussing with your teacher early on, that we were given a lot of opportunities to take decisions, and that decision making is coming so handy in today's world, is all I can say. So moving on from Baroda, I came to Bangalore for my PhD at IIC in cancer. I basically worked on BRCA1, BRCA2 gene, and one towards the end of my PhD, I was clear that wet lab research is not for me. And that's where I did my second omission. As you can see, I did some bit of introspection because most of my batchmates were moving on to different countries for their postdocs. And I was very clear that since academia and wet lab research is not for me, I did not want to go for a postdoc. Again, a lot of convincing had to be done, but luckily I had very supportive parents and I could move past that. Okay, so from there, this was a big question that what next? There was this path ahead and I had no clue where this is going to take me to. But then I decided that, okay, I am at a crossroad. I can go this way, that way, whichever way. But one thing, as I said in my previous slide, the two omissions that I did, I was very convinced, I was very clear that these are not the paths that I would want to take. I was not sure what lies ahead of me, and I was ready to take that gamble. And that's very, very important. So moving on, now that I had the degree in my hand, I knew that I have this scientific temperament. I have this ability to, logically or reason out things. I can work independently. I have these research skills. I have the ability to learn new things, develop fresh skills. Definitely, throughout your BSc, MSc, PhD, learn to cope with heavy workload. And there was a lot of self motivation, self drive was available. So these was key skills that I was, standing with at that crossroad. And again, why I'm showing you this slide is it's very important to know that each one of you have or would be developing these multiple skills that come handy at a later time point across various diverse career paths. So it's very, very important to pay close attention to your skills as well. Okay, and definitely, yes, your ability to resolve conflicts, because when you're working in teams, when you're working in groups, there are conflicts that happen. There are conflicts that happen within yourself. And how do you learn to resolve these conflicts is again an important skill that comes very handy at a later time point. Okay, so so at that crossroad, I did some bit of realignment. I didn't go for a postdoc. And what I did was I joined industry in Bangalore, worked there for a couple of years. And in while I was working again in a wet lab setting, but the corporate culture was something that taught me a lot of organizational skills, a lot of professional skills, and again some things which have always helped even now. So after working in industry for 3 years, I had taken a break. As Ritika mentioned in the very beginning, I'm also a mother. So by that time, I had my second kid, and I wanted to take a break. And and also because of multiple medical reasons, I took a break. 2 years, I was completely at home, and that's when I started looking for a different opportunity. I was clear that I do not want to continue in a wet lab. What next was again a question. And that's when I joined CCAMP as their business development and project management role, project manager in a managerial role. And it's at CCAMP that I actually found my niche. Continued to learn a lot of again decision making, a lot of management skills, and I started to grow my professional network across the country and worked there for 5 long years. And that's when I joined India Bioscience in 2016. Uh, Again, in a scientific administration management role, but this time in a leadership position. And the journey, the last 5 years, 5+ years journey has been phenomenally beautiful, is all I can say. There's been a lot of learning, a lot of growth. And all I can say is that whatever I learned in starting from my formative years to the professional journey, all has come very handy even at India Bioscience. In spite of a very steep learning curve in last 5 years, again, the journey has been very, very beautiful. So this was basically my professional journey. And moving on, switching gears, after accumulating all that experience that I had, I'm nowhere saying that I have got all the experience that I need, but whatever little experience I have gathered so far, I would like to share with you this point of career planning, because this is the key. Again, I would like to share that with if you take my own journey, lot of decisions, lot of things happened just by chance, or by my own experience. There wasn't a person who was guiding me, but certain things, if you all keep in mind, I guess this journey becomes much more smoother, much more easier, is all I can say. And it becomes much easy to navigate this path. So what is most important is know yourself, explore your options, take those decisions based on knowing yourself, exploring your options, and also become career ready. Okay, now when I say know yourself, what do I mean? It's very, very important that each one of you know what skill sets you have, what you're good at, what is your core competency. And again, because of the time lag, I don't think I'm going to get into details of anything that I'm going to talk in next few slides. Lot of that information is available on the internet, on India Bioscience website, and I would share those resources. You all can go and look into it, but please take my words that it's extremely important that you all keep these things in mind and practice it religiously, rigorously, so that you have a very fulfilling career ahead, when you finish your degrees. So, very important that you know your skills, you understand what your values are, things that actually motivate you, that you love to do, that keeps you motivated at work, that continues to spark that interest in whatever you are doing. So it's very important that you pay close attention to your skills, your interest, and your values. Again, there are a lot of tools that are available on internet which can help you put down your skills, interest, values on paper, based on which you can align what career paths you would want to choose. So once you have known yourself, you can explore your various different options. And now, how do you explore your options? Definitely, online research is one very simple way to look for various options that are available. The other very interesting and very effective, useful way to understand different career paths is by doing informational interviews. And this is nothing but, talking to someone who has carved a journey or carved his or her path in that particular career option, in that particular domain. You just go ahead and talk to them in order to get or gauge more information about that path. That's all is informational interview. So once you're ready to take that next step in your life, before actually committing yourself to any career path, do please go ahead and do these informational interviews, because you will get a lot of insiders information which will help you take that decision whether you want to go ahead or you don't want to go ahead. And definitely internships and volunteering opportunities at different sectors gives you that first-hand information to basically again cement your thoughts whether you want to go ahead in that path or not. So these are certain ways of exploring your options. I can say that India Bioscience has done a lot of informational interviews with, professionals from diverse life science career backgrounds, and you can just go and listen to these podcasts in order to understand these diverse career paths. But again, I would say don't just limit to these podcasts. There are a lot of other information that's also available on the web out there. Okay, so now that you've known yourself, now that you've explored your options, you kind of align these two, you take a decision and move forward. Now, whatever decision you take at that point is the right decision for you. Let's say, looking back at my own career journey, post my PhD, I decided not to go for a postdoc, but join industry. And I worked there for 3 years. But then later, I decided to move on. But for those 3 years, that was the right decision for me. I really gave in my 10%. I really enjoyed that. I learned it. But then later, I again took a U-turn, which is perfectly okay. So this right decision might be right for that time point, and make the most of that decision that you have taken. Moving on, and the most important thing is when you're doing this self analysis, when you're exploring your options, when you're taking your decisions, at the same time, you also start becoming career ready. And what do I mean by becoming career ready? Uh, I mean is, these 5 points which are written here, one has to really pay very close attention to these points. Ritika, I hope this is going fine in terms of my presentation and in terms of audio video.
Yes, absolutely. It's all
Yes,
fine.
Okay,
ma'am. Yes.
perfect. Okay, so these are certain things from my own experience and from the experience that anyone out there who shares is, one needs to build network early on. We were never told during our formative years that you should have this ability to build your networks. So we never paid attention to that aspect. But my suggestion is that it's very, very important, and there's no time. There is nothing right or wrong here. As and when you are moving ahead, as and when you are meeting with new people, you're interacting with new people, they can be from any possible career path. Don't restrict yourself, but connect with this person either through your LinkedIn profile, through emails, and stay connected with this person. And that is precisely what I mean by building your network. Again, there's a lot of science that goes behind building the network, which I'm not getting into here. But take my words that this network and this is going to be a continuous, ongoing process throughout your life. It's never going to stop. And more people who become part of your network, more and more stronger your network continues to be, and it will be really, really effective, and it'll come handy as and when you require it. So pay very close attention to building your networks. Work on your CV and resume. I guess I cannot emphasize enough that how important it is to put yourself in the best possible manner through your resume or CV and present it to the world. Again, I would share that for any position that's advertised in today's world, the employers get hundreds and hundreds of CVs for one position. Now, how do you stand apart from these hundreds of CVs that come in? You might be the best, but if you have not effectively put it down on this piece of paper, no one's going to select you. And it's the cover letter and the CV and resume that gives a chance that you will get picked up at least the first screening level. So again, working on your CV and resume is extremely, extremely important. Any interview in life you face, be it your practical interviews, be it your job interviews, or anything, each interview must be taken extremely seriously, and you must conduct these interviews in the utmost professional manner. Again, lot of information is available on the internet to learn about these steps. What I thought was, at least I'll give you guys a glimpse of what is important. The fourth is the elevator pitch. And what is an elevator pitch? It's nothing but a way to present yourself to a stranger in the most crisp, concise, comprehensive manner, so that in that very first meeting, you are conveying who you are, what you want to do, what your aims are in life. So again, this is a term, and this is an art that one must develop. This is something that you must actually stand in front of a mirror. And I'm not joking here. You must stand in front of a mirror and practice this art of giving an elevator pitch. It may differ depending on where you're introducing yourself. While you're casually introducing yourself to someone in a conference, or you're introducing yourself for a job interview, it may differ. But for each setting, you must have your best possible elevator pitch ready to be delivered. The last but not the least, have mentors. Very important, because mentors are the one who help you stay focused, who help you tide through situations where you have confusions, conflicts in your own mind. And they are always, always ready to tell you what is good for you. They are there to give you advice. At the end of it, it's you who take in and basically work or take decisions. But having good mentors is again something very, very important. Okay, so moving on. I guess after talking about understanding yourself, after talking about exploring your options, how do you make yourself career ready, I would like to share here that there are certain key skills which any employer in today's world out there is looking for. And these are just some. Maybe the list is more, but I guess some of the key skills is what I have listed here is people skill, organizational skill, communication skills, negotiation skills, ability to continuously learn, attention to give details, ability to manage time, and ability to multitask. These are just few skill sets, and I'll tell you, each one of you have it. It's just that you must also have the ability to showcase that you have these skill sets. You must also have the right instances to showcase that, yes, you have these skill sets in you, because employers are going to ask you this question. Okay. So moving on, I guess I'm not going to read this. It's a pretty text heavy slide. But all I want to say is that this degree in science that you all are going to pursue, and at the same time start becoming career ready, uh, it's not just one path. This degree that you all are getting is actually going to impart you with the ability to move on to diverse career paths. So always keep that in mind. Okay, so this is again maybe something I would spend a little time here. Uh, that with this degree, with this understanding of how do you craft your career paths and all that, let me tell you that in India itself now, you can move into these diverse career paths. It's not just that you can become a researcher or a teacher or an educator. I'm not saying that these paths are not important, these paths are not exciting. They are. But other than these two academic career paths, there are large number of other possibilities that also exist. One can become a communicator, a science artist, a science journalist, basically a person who bridges this gap between science and society. If you think you have the ability to write, if you have the ability to, draw, if you have the ability to capture things and make it available for general public, please think of a career path in science communication or journalism. You can get into grants management if you like numbers, if you can manage multiple large grants. That's another very lucrative career path that has opened up. And with this ERMI, the grant that even I have, the India Alliance ERMI initiative, lot of grants managers positions are opening up for people who have postgraduate or PhD degrees in India as well. You can become a business development manager, you can become an entrepreneur if you have an idea that can be converted into a business. You can become a product specialist, basically a person who can go talk to the researchers about the new tools or services that are coming into the market. You can become a marketing or a sales executive. You can get into IPR. You can get into a technology transfer person. Again, let me tell you, I'm not getting into details of each of these career paths. I'll give you a resource book which talks in detail about each of these career paths. But if you have any question, I'll be happy to answer that question. Okay, you can become a science manager, administrator, basically a person who helps run scientific processes smoothly, especially now that the science is becoming collaborative, multi-institutional projects are coming up. You need people who are very smoothly, effectively running, managing these collaborations. And a person with scientific background, with the ability to manage things, can play a very interesting and an effective role there. You can get into industry for research and development. So again, these are, as I said, these are diverse career paths. And this is a book called Disha that we did last year. And this is available on our website for a free download, which talks in details about these academic and non-academic careers, uh, jobs in industry, bioentrepreneurship, and the list is on and on. And it just does not list about these various different career paths. It also talks about the key skill sets that are needed, the courses that one can pick up, and the kind of organizations that give you these kind of job opportunities. So please, I would request you all again to go to India Bioscience website and download this book called Disha. Okay. So I would like to sum up this part here with this very interesting learning that I have had myself from my journey. That have that courage to take the unknown path. The path can be unknown, but you must have the courage. You don't know where it's going to lead to, but if you remain courageous, I'm sure the degree that you all are going to get in your hand will help you unlock this lock towards the path to success and happiness. Okay, so with that, I would like to summarize this part of the talk. I just have few other things to talk, which I'll very carefully, very quickly finish. But before we move on, some key takeaways. Be clear of what you do not want, even if you do not know what you want. Very, very important. Degree in science is a powerful tool that opens multiple avenues. So craft your career carefully. There will be crossroads at every stage. Don't think that once you embark on that journey, there won't be crossroads. There would be. Think, align, and then move forward. And it's perfectly okay to switch gears and move forward even much later in life. Be open to opportunities that come your way. Don't be very, very stringent about a career path that this is precisely what I would do. If there are opportunities that are there, grab it. You will actually learn a lot of things out of that as well. Be decisive and courageous to take risk and never be afraid. Okay, so with that, let me quickly move on to India Bioscience and show you some of the resources that we have to offer and the ways in which students can engage with us. So as I said, we have a lot of career resources. We keep doing a lot of different kinds of workshops, which are very, very I'm sure very enriching for the students community as well. So you can participate in our workshops. We have our podcast series called India Bio Speaks, and the first season is on careers. So you must listen to that. And definitely there are a lot of other resources which are available on the website. Feel free to explore. Okay, so these are some of the career resources. There are large number of talks, video talks. Our Crafting Your Career module is there. And if you really want to make best, out of your career journey, please make use of these resources. This is a book called Disha. The center one is a very small booklet which talks about various different career paths that are available for students with a degree in life sciences. This book that we launched late last year is something which talks about funding opportunities for PhD students and postdocs. So if you reach that stage and if you're looking for funding opportunities, you can download this book. And the very recent one, which we just launched a month back, is called Academia to Industry Transitions, where we have spoken with 10 people who have moved from academia to industry and who have very successfully carved their careers in different diverse domains. So do read these interviews. It will help you understand what it takes to move from academia to industry as well. Because again, these are two very different ball games. Okay, so with that, I guess I would very quickly just touch upon few other, because my title also says, life and career. And I guess these are, again, few things that I have in my journey so far put together and learned and felt that this is something extremely, extremely important to keep in mind. Very important to discover your strengths and weaknesses. Always, be ready to cross hurdles, because don't think hurdles will not come your way. At every step, there will be hurdles. And all you need to, know is how do you cross these hurdles. Learn to deal with failures. Failures will happen. Don't give in. Just learn to deal and move on. Learn to manage your time. Learn to multitask. Learn to stay focused, because distractions are many. And especially in today's time when we all are facing with, undergoing this pandemic, and definitely word outside is right now not in the best of shapes that we have seen before, right? And we all are very, very anxious. We don't know what's going to happen and where our careers would move, what next, and all that. But it's okay. This time will also pass by. And this is a time when you can, invest a lot in your thinking about your career possibilities. So remain focused and work towards your path ahead. Don't basically get disheartened by what's happening around you, is what I would want to tell you. And always stay alert. A lot is happening around, and what is very, very important is to kind of keep your eyes, ears, your senses open so that you can grab various different opportunities that come your way. Always continue to exercise. Again, a message I got from my doctor brother just yesterday, again, that very, very important. If you want to face such pandemics even later on in life, very, very important that you exercise regularly, you stay healthy, you eat healthy food, and maintain a disciplined life. uh, Always be a lifelong learner. So, if you continue to be a lifelong learner, you won't be disheartened by, these pandemics or what's happening around. And definitely continue to pursue your hobby always. So with that message, I guess I would like to end and just say that life is going to throw various different colors to all of you. But the painting that you draw, or painting basically the canvas of life and your career, is something that's in your hands. And each painting that you would draw is going to be very, very beautiful. You don't have to compare uh, with the painting that the other person has drawn. Your painting is yours and is very unique and is beautiful. Always remember that. Okay. So with that, I guess I would want to end with, again, another quote from APJ Abdul Kalam, who is my role model, that climbing to the top demands strength, whether it is to the top of Mount Everest or to the top of your career. So prepare well, do well, and I'm sure success will be yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an insightful talk. And some qualities that you have emphasized upon, which are we should all be optimistic. We should never be afraid of taking challenges, and we should always be a learner in life. So
Yes,
I think we all have learned a lot. And this talk was very general. And even if some of us might be, wanting to step into different career options, which might be UPSC or might be defense or might be different other fields, these set of skills that you shared with us today are very important in every aspect. Thank you so much,
exactly.
ma'am, for it. Yeah, I would now like to request Ritika to moderate the question answer round, right?
Sure.
Sure. Thank
Okay.
you so much again. Uh, so first of all, we have Dodi Venkata Apurva. Apurva is a life sciences student, second year life sciences student. She asks, how do you keep yourself motivated and focused in times of uncertainty? And how do you obtain the strength to take the risk?
Okay. So I guess a very, very pertinent question, especially in today's time. What's very important is, see, I'll tell you, if you enjoy doing what you are doing, you know where to cut off from the rest of the world. I'm not saying don't be at par with what's happening out there. Be aware, but then you know that your work is your priority, your life is your priority, because that's what you love, right? And at least for me, since I love my work, I love my life, I know where to cut off. I know that my work and my life are my priority, and that's when I can just shut off from the rest of the world and focus on my work. Another thing that I do on a very regular basis is yoga and meditation, which really helps me to stay focused. And it's not that I don't, my thoughts don't wander off. There are times when you are feeling very anxious that what's going to happen, um, whether things are going to get back to normalcy, whether the new word is going to be very different, and multiple other things that come your way. But you always remain very optimistic about, and don't lose that faith that things will be fine, and you will emerge victorious. So, and this is again something that has been instilled in me by my father and my teachers early on, I would say, that never lose hope in life. Challenges will come, and multiple challenges will come. Again, this pandemic is one such challenge, but this too will pass by, and you continue to do what you love to do, and continue to stay focused.
Thank you. Uh, the next question we have is from Damayanti Dasgupta. She's a first year zoology honors student. She asks, good afternoon, ma'am. I wanted to know more about the internships that are available for undergraduate students, keeping in mind the pandemic situation. And since all in person lab internships are closed, what are the options that we can pursue online?
Great question. And I guess I would not have the correct or the right answer to give you at this point in time because the situation is such. Uh, I also understand that the Indian Academy of Science has this internship opportunity that they are still running in an online mode. I know Government of Rajasthan has an internship opportunity that they are running in an online mode. Definitely, these are not going to be what it could be if you would have done an in-person offline internship, but still make the most of what is available is again my mantra. But if, let's say, you're not able to do an internship, one can always invest time and energy in learning, let's say, a new skill that you are interested in and you think may come handy in your career later on. If you want to pick up, let's say, a presentation, giving a nice oral presentation skill, writing skills, data analysis. There are large number of online programs, online courses that are available. So one can, invest this time more on thinking about career paths, future career paths, possible opportunities, collating thoughts in terms of these opportunities, learning new skills, building your resume in that format, and definitely keep. And if you start building your network at this time, you can always possibly reach out to people again in an online mode to see if people have some or the other project to give you. It's not necessary that one has to do an internship in a lab always. If that's not a possibility, that's one can pursue under current times. As I said, there are numerous other possibilities that one can explore, and I'm very, very sure that these would come handy even later on.
Thank you. Uh, Before I'm sure we'll get some more questions, but in the meantime, I wanted to say that when I told everybody and when the department announced that we were going to meet you, something that came to many of our minds and also people from the life sciences department was that uh, how does it work if somebody wants to change their streams after graduation? For example, going into social work and that kind, studying social work instead of doing an MSc. So, what would you think about that? What do you say?
I guess it's perfectly okay. If you'll ask me, most of my friends from my graduation days, we were a batch of seven, no, 10. As in, the batch was much bigger, but closer, the closest network, the first, circle of that network, we were 10. And let me tell you, only three of us continued in pure, in academia, in sciences. I also moved out. Only two actually remained in research. Rest seven of them completely moved away from sciences. Just the other day, we were talking, all of us had a Zoom meeting and we were talking, and we figured out that the learnings from the college days were not just restricted to what was taught in those classrooms. Definitely, the subject is beautiful. There was a lot of learning. But then what each one of us also learned from teachers, from peers, from the whole curricula is not just about the subject, but also about, being a great human being, because some of our teachers were amazingly beautiful human beings. How to deliver great lectures. So you learn those presentation skills. Though that time the presentations were black and board, chalk and board presentations, but it's the discipline that they taught us, the teamwork that we learned. How do you juggle, work together, help each other, and these are certain skills that you must pick up from these courses, from this time. It's perfectly okay to move, change gears, change subjects, but as long as you continue to have that logical, critical thinking ability, uh, continue with you, I guess you've done justice to the course that you're doing.
Thank you. Uh, okay, we have a question from Shruti Mahapatra, who's also a first year zoology student. She says, being an undergraduate student, how can I start growing, increasing my leadership skills, building my leadership skills in me to go for administrative level of work in the future?
Okay, great question. Good that you're thinking of leadership skills. Great. Let me tell you, I had no clue about this leadership skill kind of thing when I was in my undergrad, postgrad, even PhD. Uh, that there's something like leadership skills. But this is a great question, and I must admire that you are thinking in those lines. And let me tell you, you will be a leader. I'm not seeing your face, but for sure you'll become a leader if you have this thought. Very simple. I guess don't have to invest too much. Keep reading about, leaders whom you like. Keep reading about their life journeys, how they have navigated. That's one. Second, keep participating, be proactive in taking up responsibilities, in, delivering those responsibilities well on time. Take ownership is what one of the key skills of being a great leader. And as long as you continue to be part of these, not just be part of these initiatives, let's say your journal club or such kind of webinars, take those initiatives, and you should have that ability to even convince your teachers that no, this is the reason why I think this is going to be a great initiative and we must take it. And if you, as a leader, convey this point convincingly to your higher ups, you are definitely a budding leader. And if you can convince your teachers, and they at the end of it say yes. Let me recall an event here, and this is from my postgraduate days. This was New Year, and 1st Jan was the class of a teacher who was really strict, and she would not allow us to go anywhere, and she would had the class on time at 9 a.m. on 1st Jan, and we had plans to go for a picnic the previous night. Now, how do you convince the teacher? The whole class told two of us to go and talk to her, and we said, okay, we take this up, on us, and we went ahead and convinced her to delay the class at least by 2 hours. So now if I look back, the class also trusted that confidence in us, in two of us, that okay, you go and you can convince it, right? So this might sound something very silly, something very small, but these are ways that you develop your confidence and your leadership skills. But don't focus on that. Just keep doing things rightly. Keep an tab on opportunities that you come your way. Don't shy away from responsibilities, from taking extra responsibilities. And once you do that, once you deliver it correctly, more and more opportunities will keep coming your way, and you will be on that path to leadership. Again, there's no set principle or set roadmap, but these are certain things which, if you keep in mind, you will be a leader at one point in time.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And if we do not have any more questions, and also since we've overshot our time, I'd like Arukshita to take over.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a question. Okay, ma'am. So we have read about it quite often that when scientists, when any might be a naturalist or a scientist, if they are thinking about something, a thought will click them, and then they'll go mad about it, read more, and then just come up with a very new discovery, which would be beneficial for mankind or maybe the other part of it. So has there been any thought which might have struck you and kept you awake for all night, and something like that?
Okay. So I guess See, I changed my path. This was definitely during my PhD days. There were a lot of questions that I was working on, and I would be intrigued by those questions. And I was always looking forward for my next result. Especially, this one question where we were looking for mutations in the BRCA1 and BRCA2 gene in ovarian and breast cancer, familial breast cancer families in India. And I would always be on my edge to do the next run to figure out what mutations are running in this family and things like that. So that was something very, very exciting during my PhD days. But post that, since I moved away from research, I guess the second question or the second thought that I always wanted to pursue was something to do with careers. Basically, build more awareness about career possibilities, and people or youngsters get to understand that there is not just one possible path, but there are various other career possibilities. And luckily, my work at India Bioscience gave me that chance, that opportunity to initiate lot of various different kinds of things around career career possibilities. We developed this crafting your career module. We developed a lot of resources, some of which I showed. We started the podcast series around that. So this thought about career, and again, there was a reason behind why I became so interested in pursuing this, because when I was finishing my PhD, uh, many people were not happy. I would not name them here, but many were not happy that I was not going for a postdoc. And I was basically told that if sales and marketing is what I wish to do, I should just go ahead and do it. And I took it as a challenge, not as a revenge, but as a challenge that I would prove that whatever career path I take, I will be sure that I'm happy there. And I would also spread this message across. So that's another thought that has really kept me awake multiple nights and always, interested in pursuing this. Hope I
Thank you
answered
so
that
much, ma'am.
question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences. I would like to ask our professors if they wish to interact.
Sure.
Nisha, ma'am, Simran, ma'am.
I would, though it's not in the protocol, because I was not given the chance to speak at this time, but I'm taking this opportunity, Dr. Smita. It was amazing. Your session was truly amazing because you touched upon the key points.
Thank you.
Although you also mentioned that sometimes it happens by chance. All right. But you also talked about those four key features, that is know yourself, explore options, make decisions, which is very, very important. They need to do some SWOT analysis, and they should be becoming ready, career ready. I am a personal believer, because I also believe a lot in destiny, but destiny doesn't mean that we don't do our karmas. We need to
I
do that.
agree.
You know, from my childhood days, I used to read this poem. I'm sure you must have also read during your school days because we might be sharing the same age group. It's by Ayodhya Singh Upadhyay, Hariyod.
Hmm.
I don't know Hindi literature of yours. So it is,
Which
एक
poem is
बूंद
this?
एक बूंद जो बन गई मोती. I would like to
I
read
love
it
it.
for my students, because first question said that when you are on crossroad, when you are not so certain about which direction to go to. So I would like to read two couplets from here, if you allow me,
Sure.
Arupsita.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I need
Please, ma'am.
Arupsita's permission because she is the host today. With your
Please, ma'am.
permission,
Please.
all right. So ज्यों निकलकर बादलों की गोद से थी अभी एक बूंद कुछ आगे बढ़ी. ज्यों निकलकर बादलों की गोद से थी अभी एक बूंद कुछ आगे बढ़ी. सोचने फिर यही मन में लगी, आ क्यों घर छोड़कर मैं यूं बढ़ी. सोचने फिर यही मन में लगी, आह क्यों घर छोड़कर मैं यूं बढ़ी. देव मेरे भाग्य में है क्या बता, मैं बचूंगी या मिलूंगी धूल में. देव मेरे भाग्य में है क्या बता, मैं बचूंगी या मिलूंगी धूल में, या जलूंगी गिर अंगारे पर किसी, चू पड़ूंगी या कमल के फूल में। बह गई उस काल कुछ ऐसी हवा, बह गई उस काल कुछ ऐसी हवा, वह समुंदर और आई अनमनी। एक सुंदर सीप का मुंह था खुला, वह उसी में जा पड़ी मोती बनी, वह उसी में जा पड़ी मोती बनी। लोग यूं ही झिझकते सोचते, अपूर्वा दिस इज फॉर यू। लोग यूं ही है झिझकते सोचते, जबकि उनको छोड़ना पड़ता है घर, किंतु घर का छोड़ना अक्सर उन्हें बूंद लो कुछ और ही देता है कर। So girls, please remember this. There
Beautiful.
definitely are going to be challenges in your life, but we need to look up at the opportunities, as Dr. Smita said very rightly. And I firmly believe that we all appreciate those squiggly lines which appear on ECG rather than that flat line. Okay? So believe in the challenges, they make you stronger day by day. Thank you, Dr. Smita. It was definitely a wonderful session, but I need to ask one thing from you.
Sure.
That in case if, because I am not very good at it, in case if you have to sign some kind of MOUs with industries for our own students, where they can go and do some kind of internships. It's not just a matter of one or two students. Maybe it's a regular feature which is taken up by the colleges. Is this,
Right.
there's some kind of a provision like this? I'm not aware of it. If you can throw some light on it.
Actually, I'm a good question. Good question, ma'am. I guess this is where connection with industry is extremely important. I'm also exploring this, and I've realized that over last 1 year, I have myself been growing my network with folks in industry, and more I'm getting to know these people. There are a lot of internship opportunities that exist with industries, uh, be it in science communication, in fact, even communication or their PR or medical writing or even, let's say, sales and marketing. They do have opportunities. It's just that there is so much of disconnect that exists between academic setups or colleges and these industries that they never get to meet. And I'm always seeing this request coming in from folks at industry that they're looking for talent, they're looking for good people to join, and here you have whole lot of students looking for opportunities. It's just that this connection never happens.
So how to bridge this gap?
and and this is, again, I would say that one has to be very active on LinkedIn to find. Maybe I can just, let's say, give you two or three names, separately. We can exchange emails, and I can put you
Sure.
in touch with few people. But my suggestion would be someone who's driving, let's say, the career cell at Miranda House, or one of the teachers who's heading this whole initiative, can be more active on LinkedIn and gradually pick up people who are kind of key in various different industries where students would want to go and do internships. And that's where the dialogue can start. Uh, I know Novartis, I know Cactus Communications, I know Premis Biotech, let's say in Delhi. They are looking for interns. They are looking for good talent where people can where students can go and spend some time and learn. Even they have paid internship opportunities. It's just that one has to connect.
I think
Uh,
we'll take your help through Ritika.
sure,
We'll be in touch
sure,
with this
sure.
matter like
And
this. And I would like our students, because they're all very brilliant. Huh? They have good potential. Only thing they need to be channelized little, where I think these
exactly,
industries would do magic on them.
exactly. So one quick suggestion here: the academia industry book that I just showed. We interviewed 10 different people from 10 different career paths. Their contact details, if it's not there, I don't remember exactly, but they all are there on LinkedIn. One can connect with them also on LinkedIn. and write to them separately about these possibilities. Because I know for sure some of them on that list have internship opportunities.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We'll look for that. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. It was indeed a lovely session, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you.
Arukshita, you can carry ahead, please carry on.
Thank you, Dr. Smita Jain. I mean, it was as Nisha has already summed up, and we are all grateful to you for taking out time for our students, in spite of being not so well. But I'm sure you'll be back to the your strength even more than what you were.
No,
And
I'm
I
very
would
sure this interaction has also given me a lot of energy.
Yes, yes, sure. And I would like to answer one of the question one this student has asked with your permission, if I can answer that.
Sure.
Some of the students who are looking for the online internships. So
Hmm.
maybe you can contact the teachers. You can do some online internships, as ma'am has said, in some of the like leadership areas. You can learn some courses, etc. Also, bioinformatics tools. People who are bioinformaticians, they are working with their students and interns online. So that is one area I would say that we are blessed to we can still do research sitting at home, and without getting ourselves in risk by going out in this dangerous, I would say it is a very very dangerous situation. And they can hone their skills. If any one of you is interested in doing biology but from home, with the without going into the lab, you can still do this with the help of bioinformatics. So that is what I wanted to convey. So you can contact people. So they are also, I mean, there are many IGIB, you can contact people, you can contact even in the zoology department. And I can even talk about ICGEB and NIA, etc. So there are teachers, there are scientists who are conducting all these programs, but obviously it is restricted to mostly biostats and bioinformatics, if any one of you is interested. Thank you so much, and all the best to all the teachers, all the students. We all need these, best wishes to keep ourselves safe and calm at this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Just to quickly add here, I guess to all the students, I talked about India Bioscience and the resources that we have, but I would also suggest that there are some really good websites other than India Bioscience. iBiology is one such website which is based out of US. Uh, do visit iBiology website. They have some very nice courses. They even have courses which teaches how to become a good researcher. It's a long course, but it's a beautiful course. So do check out the eligibility. These are again free. There's no charge associated with any of these courses, but worth exploring these options. So very important to, as I said, stay alert and keep an eye open about these various courses and resources that are available online as well.
Ma'am, if you permit, can I ask you one last question?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. So, what should be the arms and ammunitions that we should be well equipped with before we imagine ourselves as an international student to a university abroad?
Okay. So I would like this question to be rephrased. That don't just think that you should be at your best when you are applying for an institution or a university abroad. It should be treated as any place you are applying, you should be at your best. Okay. And as I said, the major arms and ammunitions that should be there in your arsenal, uh, your ability to communicate, your CV, your cover letter, your experiences, which would basically be showcased in via your cover letter and CV or resume. Definitely your marks card, one cannot uh, uh, discount. That's definitely always and the kind of internships or the courseworks or experiences that you have gathered in this process are certain things that, if showcased well, will definitely give you an edge over others. Because not everyone, let me tell you very honestly, I have sat through multiple selection committees, uh, screening resumes, and 95% resumes are just put aside in 10 seconds. You just take a quick glance and you put aside the resume because you know that it's not worth pursuing. It's a very ironical situation, but, and that's precisely why I'm saying that if you want to catch attention of the employers, it's your cover letter and it's the CV which gives you the edge. Again, I would want to say that don't fabricate. There's no reason to fabricate. It has to depict who you are and what your skills and learnings and experiences are. And the people sitting on the committees can actually figure out very quickly whether this is a genuine CV or not. Okay, whether this is a copy pasted CV or a self written CV. So, so give that extra time, effort, energy to prepare this really well if you want to stand out from the crowd. And I'm sure you all can do it. Now that you are exposed, you guys are doing such kind of sessions, you're talking to people. Another session, if that's not already happening at Miranda House, what you can start is session with your seniors, people who have moved into different diverse career paths. That's the best way. In fact, that very article has gone up on India Bioscience website today. I have not read that article, but that's the article that has gone up. So connect with your alumni. They are sitting with pool of information and resources that'll give all of you that extra edge.
Absolutely. That's really a key point because we do that, Dr. Sweta. We call
Great,
up our alumni and they interact with them.
great. No, that's really, really great.
And
Uh,
just to add on to what Rekha ma'am was telling us about, just for the audience that two other teachers from our department, Sadhna ma'am and Monica ma'am, they are really helpful, and even I have reached out to them to help out with, give me some work so that I can learn something. So if anybody else is interested, you can also get in touch with them. It would be great work. Lots of
yeah,
learning, very interesting stuff.
exactly.
I, I had a small question. I don't want to take too much time. Last thing that many of us at our stages don't really get exactly that field of work that we think we may want to pursue later. So, I mean, obviously, all the learning is important, but when a person is looking at a resume or a CV and it says that this person worked, for example, in statistics, but what they're applying for doesn't really use a lot of statistics. So, how much does that matter at our level, at the undergraduate level?
It, Ritika, to some extent, it does matter in terms of, let's say, what kind of position you are applying for. If it's a very technical position that requires technical skills and experience, definitely you need to have that experience in that particular domain. But let's say if it's a position which is more generic, which requires certain amount of technical skills, but not to that extent. Let's say it's a more of a writing position, or being a communicator, or other side, an administrator and a management. What they would look for is your experiences, your ability to write, or let's say organize things and execute those things, right? So one has to weigh out what kind of position you are looking for. Certain industries at times do not give too much emphasis on 100% technical skills. If they feel that candidate has the ability to learn and the candidate has shown or showcased in via the CV or resume that, he or she is willing to learn and can pick up things, and the employer sees that, well, lot of other soft skills this person is bringing to the table, they are ready to invest, they would be ready to invest in your profile, and then teach you, because they know that, okay, you would pick up that skill really fast, but you also bring in a lot of other skill sets that would be valuable. So I would say never go with these very, preconceived notions. One should always be open. Maximum what will happen, they'll reject your CV. That's the maximum that will happen. But always take chances. Don't throw arrows randomly. You do your homework, but one should be ready to take chances in life as well. Um, so yeah, that would be my answer.
Thank you.
Hello, Rukshita. Can I come in?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Hello, Dr. Smita. It was a
Hi.
very nice session. Actually, students need this kind of an advice. So, how should they go about in their life and career? And all it's coming from an expert like you is always more beneficial than what we all keep telling them. Uh,
I guess
I,
it's always like grass is greener on the other side, but I would not buy in that statement. I guess it's always the teachers, who are the closest and nearest to the students,
yeah,
and
but
they.
it is something like that with your parents. You are not so convinced. When your teachers say it, then it's right. So similarly, like in that context, I'm telling you, they always come to us. We are always there to help. And in that context only, I was telling Ritika told that Monica and me are doing internship, and it's not me and Monica, Jyoti, Rekha, all of us, like many of our ad hoc faculty, regularly do summer internship. I think I have 15 years of experience in Miranda House, and we have been doing summer internship. We
Wow.
have very good add-on courses. Uh, so they can always come and join, and they can write to us well in advance so that we know how many students are we, what kind of interest they have, and of course in this time we can just do meta-analysis,
Hmm.
bioinformatics, biostats, immunoinformatics, but otherwise we have with lab experiments or trainings also.
Yeah. No,
But for all the
that's really great, Sadhna. But I would also suggest that, now that things are all happening online, maybe this is the time when, as a group, if all can invest and, invite people from various different walks of life, career stages, career paths, and just allow students to talk to them, that will also really help broaden their horizon, their experiences. And once these connections start getting established, even at the college level, you never know, more and more even internship opportunities may come up uh, at these various different industrial locations. So I really feel that, some such series can get started, especially when a lot of other things are shut.
Now, we do not have this series, but we often invite our alumni to talk to our students so that they have an idea what all they can do in their life besides going to academics.
Right.
So we regularly do it. And Nisha being the IQAC coordinator, she's more interested now also to invite many people. Our placement cell is also that way very active. And like keep inviting people uh,
Right.
to know more about higher education in India and abroad, as well as placement opportunities for the students. Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you.
And also, I'd like to add that we're really fortunate to be in this department actually, because even last year when we were going to college physically, we had this wonderful session. We had a speaker from Nature India, science communication workshop, and we also had a careers portion in that session. So it was really enriching, and we learned a little bit about presentation skills, which was very important. So yeah, so on and off, it was just wonderful. It was really fortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, great, great.
Thank you,
From
Nisha ma'am.
presentation,
Keep this
you
in
know,
mind. Sorry, ma'am. I
no,
interrupted.
I thought I'll just apologize to all of you for my presentation today. I'm really sorry why this presentation didn't run, because the moment you put it on Google Drive, it loses the formatting
I think
and
Dr. Smita, we didn't even realize. Had you not told us, we would have not even noticed because you were speaking so nicely. Yeah. Because the content was too good. So we didn't look at that at all.
yeah, yeah.
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am, and even we all are very comfortable with all the technical glitches. They don't matter anymore now. So we are more focused on listening to what our speaker says. And ma'am, we also had this time a project on scientific writing because things were online and it's not possible for having wet lab experiments. So our professors Yasha ma'am and Pooja ma'am is also there. They initiated this scientific writing project for us. We had Dr.
Great.
Anupma Harshal as from ICER for delivering a talk on science, scientific writing, and scientific communication. So we have
Hmm.
been trying hard to learn more in different spheres, but I think we always should keep making efforts. And today's session was wonderful. I would now request Kritika. She's one of the co-editors at Synapse, our society, to give away the vote of thanks. Please, Kritika.
Good evening, everyone. I, Kritika, on behalf of the Zoology Department of Miranda House, would like to thank Dr. Smita Jain for taking out time from her busy schedule and enlightening us with the innumerable opportunities we have out there. I'm sure that your insights will help us to become career ready and choose a definitive career after graduation. Thank you so much, ma'am. I want to thank all the teachers and the Synapse Council members who really worked hard to ensure the smooth running of this event. Also, a big thank you to all the students present here for paying attention and cooperating with us to make this event such a success. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Kritika. Thank you, ma'am, once again for joining us.
Thank you. Pleasure. It was a real pleasure. And all the